Hello there, my name is Paul James Stewart and I am a virtual tour guide, tour leader, talker of nonsense and bull. This is a live stream tour. Whoa. So for anyone watching this at a later date on YouTube, you'll hear me interacting with people in the chat. Unfortunately, the chat disappears when the tour gets uploaded to YouTube. So if you are watched on YouTube, I am not talking to myself, I am talking to all the people who are watching at the time that is streamed live. Hello everybody, Dawn. I'm assuming Michelle's here. If you can say a hello, if you could say hello in the chat and let me know who's there, please, that would be fantastic, because I can't see otherwise. Who is there? Hi Barbie. I'm not sure if Diane is there or Agatha is there. I'm not sure. If you can say hello everyone. It's a very blustery windy day. Look at the palm trees are blowing. It's blowing a hoolie, as they say in Scotland. That bin just got blown away over there a minute ago. Lovely day, but the wind is extremely high. There is a storm coming. Look at this changing face of Leith here. Look at this. Look at these horrible blocks they're putting up. These disgusting things here. Carol Sue. No rain forecast actually. Just wind. You see these horrible blocks, right? They're building these. I think they're building 4 of them in total. Now the ones at the front here, the one people who stay there and at the front will have good views, and perhaps the people at the back will have good views. But the people who live in the middles, down the sides, they'll have no view. You'll just be looking into somebody else's house, which I just find bizarre. And the developers must know that, because you know what? They're not going to allow people to live there permanently. They're only going to allow people to rent them. So it'll all be like Airbnb and short-term lets. I mean, the ones up the front at the top will have good views of the docks, but over here, behind these huts you can see here, you can see some ships in the distance. There's it's a working dock area. This is a working dock, and they're actually building a wind turbine factory here. There's going to be like so much noise. It's incredible. So they change it. And this block here, this was built in the 1990s. See over here? This block here was built in the 1990s. And they're getting knocked down because they've realised they're going to put a big massive tower block there with lots of houses. So that's been only up like less than 20 years. And already it's getting knocked down because the land value has just increased so much. It was a bank. It was just offices, a bank. The bank moved out, it became architects' offices or something, but that's getting knocked down and a big tower block is getting put in its place. So I bet these developers here that built these houses regret building them to that height. Maybe there was restrictions in at that time. Hello Michelle, how's it going? Sarah as well. How's it going? Yeah, they're horrible things, man. As I say, the ones at the top, at the front, will have good views. But other than that, you know. Oh, new comments. No planning in their planning. See, they've got little floating solar panels over here for the power for the docks. This is where the Ukrainian ship was. This is part of the old working docks here, built in the 1800s. Actually, because of Queen Victoria. When Queen Victoria visited in 1842 to Edinburgh, she was due to land in Leith, okay? But the tides were out, her ship was too big to land and the tides were out. So the docks decided to redevelop the docks so that it wouldn't be affected by the tides anymore. And it's named Victoria Docks. And over here, it's called Victoria Quay over there. And over here we have Victoria Bridge. So you've got Victoria Quay, Victoria Docks, Albert Docks, Victoria Bridge. So you can tell the English, British, Hanoverians, Saxe, Coburg, Gothas like to put their stamp on us. I think this woman's trying to train her dog. Look at this, the floating luxury hotel, by the way. If anyone's feeling flush, get your money and £1,500 for a cabin. Hey, Lethargy, how's it going? I don't know if it's Lisa here. Thanks for becoming a member, and thanks for any tips you've given the last wee while, by the way. You've just handed in flyers. How's life, everyone? By the way, this is only going to be a very short tour today. I had planned to do a tour for about at least an hour. However, I got a last minute booking for a train spotting tour at 1 o'clock. So it's just going to be a little short tour today, unfortunately. But what I'll do is I'll schedule a tour for tomorrow. I'll need to check what times. I've got a train spotting tour tomorrow as well. My train spotting tour is my most popular tour. I've got people, last week I had people from Spain and France. This week I've got people from Switzerland. I've had people from over 60 different countries come on my tours, train spotting tours. Isn't that mad? And it was written in 1993. How's life with Don anyway? Thanks for anyone who shared on my post, by the way. I know people can't afford to tip all the time and do a sponsorship, so one way you can help us is by sharing the tours and taking screenshots and pictures and sharing them on Facebook with your friends and so on. Obviously subscribing to my YouTube channel. Liking the video as well helps. But yeah, if you fancy feeling flush, by the way, £1,500 for a night on that dock. Hey Mark, how's it going, buddy? How's life? So it's, the most expensive suite on here is about £1,500 for the most exclusive suite. It's owned by the people who own Britannia. It's called the Fingal. It was actually a lighthouse ship. It used to be go around supplying the lighthouses and so on. But it's it's now turned into a couple of years ago. It opened actually a few years ago now. And yeah, £1,500 is the most expensive cabin, I think. It went to number 1 on TripAdvisor. The poll there. Yeah, it's actually, it went to number 1 on TripAdvisor. I think the average cabin's about £500 a night in peak season. The Fingal. So in case you're feeling flush, I don't know if I would spend £1,500 a night to spend a night on a boat on a dock. But maybe that's just because I'm from Leith. It's quite strange, isn't it? Yeah, Trainspotting the movie came out in 1996. The book came out in 1993, which is 31 years ago. So it just shows you the popularity, and I've had people from over 60 different countries come on my Trainspotting tours. It's just mad, the impact that a book by an author from Leith and a movie that only had a £1.5 million budget as well. Filmed over 7 weeks. So see here, so we've got Albert Dock, right? Victoria Dock. Guess what this dock's called? Imperial Dock. So that's where you can't get through. You can come up to here, but you can't get past that gate. I've actually asked Forth Ports who own the docks to come in to be allowed access so I can do a tour, and they refused me. They refused access to me. So this is called Imperial Dock. There's been a working shipbuilding history going back 600 years. Deep water here. So it's actually kept artificially at high tide. At the end of the 1960s, Prince Philip, the husband of the passed away Queen, he came to shut it off at high tide to protect the ships in the docks. The water of Leith is connected just over there. There's a tram going past, see? Ding ding! So it's actually quite warm today. I think I've actually got too many clothes on today. It's actually about 14 degrees today. It's really windy. So I've put my body warmer on top of my tracksuit top, and I've got my jacket on. It's too warm. There's not a complaint you hear from me very often in Scotland. It's too warm. So they're building houses everywhere down Leith now. Population's probably must be pushing 60,000 people now. It's actually the top of Leith that connects to Edinburgh and Easter Road area. It's actually one of the most densely populated areas in London now. Outside London. Sorry, I've got that wrong there. I'll start again. So Leith, the top of Leith, is officially the most densely populated area in Britain outside of London, but it's actually one of the most densely populated areas in the whole of Europe now, Leith. And especially when I'm building all these houses as well. Woo! Can you hear that wind blowing? Jesus, holy moly! It's warm. Warm. funny way we pronounce Warham, isn't it? Warham. It's like Warham. It's like a different word. Warm. Warham. Right. Trams come past here now, obviously, on the way to the Britannia. Britannia's ding ding. Oh, only one ding. Not two. So you can see how close they are together. Sometimes they're, Jesus, holy moly. Sometimes they're 3 minutes apart. Sometimes you have to wait up to 10. I've seen a 10-minute wait once. They're supposed to be every 7 minutes, the trams. Yeah, they're supposed to be every 7 minutes apart, but obviously traffic delays and so on. So they can be as close together as 2 or 3 minutes. Goes all the way to the airport. I think it's about £10. Return, possibly. It's not too bad. £10. Takes about 50 minutes, depending on the traffic. They don't run all day and night. They only run until midnight. I think 5 o'clock till midnight. They run 5 AM till midnight, the trams run. There's a lot of jobs in Leith. Well, there will be coming up because they're building a wind turbine factory. There's lots of jobs in hospitality, of course. They'll get. I thought I was going to show you. You can see some of the old docks here. See the cranes. Used to be about 100 cranes here at one point. This used to be a casino, by the way. This was a casino. See this building here? It was a casino. And then just as the houses were not here, right, there was some over here when the casino was built. But then just as all more houses were getting built, the casino closed down. Nobody could understand it. It was like, why are you closing down? So I reckon this will probably get knocked down because look at the size of the car park. They could build about 1,000 houses here. So I would imagine in a year or so's time, this will be housing. Because if you look over here, in the distance, you can see they're building houses all along here. Hundreds and hundreds of houses. And developers have just put in a plan to build hundreds of houses here. So if you work in construction, there'll be hundreds of jobs in Leith. These are in the old cranes as well, obviously all the goods were coming in. Over here you can just see it in the distance. I've not got time to go over. There's a coal chute. There's an old coal chute. Obviously they used to export coal from Scotland. Look at the old cranes, aren't they wonderful? Hey lads, sorry man, it's only going to be a short tour today unfortunately. I've got a last minute train spotting tour booked at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to reschedule the tour for tomorrow. So it's only going to be a short tour today, so I apologise profusely. But I've got some exciting news. Going on a wee road trip next week up the Highlands, so look out for some tours. I'll probably do a tour driving through Glencoe. One of the most beautiful drives in Scotland is Glencoe. He's driving from the central belt in Scotland up to Fort William. And we'll hear about some of the Jacobites, the massacre of Glencoe and so on. So watch out for that. I've yet to decide when I'm going, Monday or Tuesday, because I'm getting last minute tours booked quite often, so nice little gardens here. See they've named it Ocean Way. Oh, there's too much development down here. The developers have put in a request to build another development further along, and I've objected to it. There's been hundreds of objections to it. It's all going to be houses here. Here, they're going to build student accommodation here as well. Student accommodation. So watch this space. This is where the trams come. Whoa. Ah, that burger van's still there, Linda's. So this is a beautiful day today. So this is an old scrapyard area. This was all industrial. Who's that? Beck! Hey, Beck! How's it going? It's only going to be a short tour. Jesus, holy moly. Hopefully you can hear me above this wind. Whoa! Jesus, holy moly, the wind's outrageous. Is Linda here? Linda! Tell Linda I miss her. Tell Linda not to cry. 'Cause my love for Linda will never die. Especially her homemade lentil soup at £2. It's a famous burger van, that Linda. Been there for years. Oh, there's one of the open top tour buses. Ding ding! Oh, that's not got a ding ding. That's a new bus tour. The Regal tour. The Royal tour. So this used to be all where the whisky bonds were. Very industrial. Gasworks were down here as well. Used to make bottles down here. Salamander Street. We're just moving into Salamander Street. And I thought Salamander Street was named after a famous ship that was launched in Leith a few hundred years ago. One of the early ships was called the Salamander. And I thought the street was named after that. But then I bought a book on Edinburgh street names, and I discovered that the salamander is a heat-resistant lizard. And the street was named, I think it was part of the gasworks originally. There was gasworks down here as well. I think it was to do with that. And yeah, the land's obviously, it's been a scrapyard, you know, for decades, so the land's going to be contaminated. So the guy who owns it's put in per people to live there. Surely it's too toxic for students to live there. Obviously the students might be there for a year or two. So I don't understand that. So again, that was another tram going that way. Ah, two trams. You wait all day for a tram. Buffering. It doesn't tell me it's buffering. Is it back okay? It doesn't tell me it's buffering. Finally. Buffering. Is it okay now, or is it still buffering? Ah. Yeah. Oh. Wonder why that started buffering there. No idea. Hopefully it might be back again. Oh. Oh. It's good now. Alright, okay. Strange. So must just be a little dodgy area down there. It's so bizarre, the signalling, isn't it, with YouTube? Oh, by the way, I was loading up, you know how we've got a gimbal? We do the virtual tours using a gimbal, okay? And I got a gimbal with an extendable, it extends so I don't have to hold it up so high when I'm walking. And I put up my gimbal today, and it was really windy, my gimbal was nearly flying over. And I've noticed at the bottom of the tripod, it's got extending legs. I've had this gimbal for over 1 year. Over a year, and I've just found out today it's got extendable legs. I was like, okay, I'm a twat. Oh, I blame the trams. Hello, Susan. I never saw you there. Blame the trams. How's life, Susan, today? What's the weather like in Canada today? Have you still got snow, wind and rain? Old Nova Scotia? Old assembly rooms. Remember I was in the assembly rooms yesterday in Edinburgh? This is the Leith assembly rooms as well. We've got assembly rooms in Leith as well. Because bear in mind, Leith only became part of Edinburgh against its will in 1920. And today is the 704th anniversary of the Declaration of Arbroath. Scotland had been fighting England for decades in the First War of Independence, called the Wars of Independence, when England invaded Scotland and tried to rule us. And obviously that led to decades-long battles called the Wars of Independence. And of course Robert the Bruce, the famous warrior king, defeated the English at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. And in 1320, the landowners and the nobility sent a letter to the Pope. Bear in mind, the Pope was the man who held all the power in Europe at that time. And it was called the Declaration of Arbroath, because it was signed in Arbroath, which is a place on the east coast of Scotland. And so that letter was demanding that the Pope recognises Scotland as an independent country. and they recognise Robert the Bruce as King of Scotland. Oh, sorry man, this is a statue of Robert Burns here. Rabbie Burns. Robert Burns, of course, I remember a couple of years ago, I was doing an online Burns supper, and my opening lines was this. I says, "Good evening everybody." I says, in a small kind of way, Robert Burns was like Boris Johnson. And everyone's looked at me in abject horror. I'm comparing the great bard Robert Burns to Boris Johnson. And they were spitting out their whiskey and looking at me quite angry at this point. And of course, yes, I says, nobody knows for sure how many children they both had. So that's a joke you can use here, Mark. So most of my jokes are just spontaneous, you know, I just like to ad lib. I don't really plan jokes as such. If you can, I just tell stories and make them funny, you know. What time is it? 12:52. I'm just waiting on my tour. So the statue of Robert Burns. Oh, the third most statued person in the world, of course, behind Queen Victoria and Christopher Columbus. So this is where I meet my people off the tours. So if you haven't already watched my tour, whoa, if you haven't already watched my promo video for my new tour company, you can do that on YouTube. I'm trying to get that my most popular video. I think it's had about 500 views. So if you could watch that video for me, get my video up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, of course, and so on. Whoa. Look at this vandalism. This is a local MSP. Look, they've done this last week. So this is a Scotland. Actually, Ben, nice guy. So somebody vandalised his shop last week. Terrible, isn't it? Vandalism. Obviously, it's what we call unionists, people who are against independence, because the SNP are against or for independence. I'm just going to quickly show, because seemingly they vandalised some of the artwork. There's a street mural project round the corner here, and seemingly this was vandalised last week, so as well, along with the shop, it was the same blue paint they've used. So I'm just going to see what that was before I finish the tour. I've got to meet my tour group at 1 o'clock from Switzerland. They're not there yet, so I'll just quickly show you this before I end the tour. But I'll schedule another tour for tomorrow, okay? So this is a nice street project, art mural project here. I'll just quickly show you this. The guys working on it. So this was getting done last week when I was here, done a tour here. Yes. Oh, I'm going to thanks for reminding me of that. I'm going to do some tours of the galleries, the art galleries, and the museums. But I can't get a signal, so I'm just going to go in and do some pre-recorded content. So I'm just going to show I'll just have to do them from home, because you can't get too thick. So seemingly one of them was vandalised last week. So yes, I've got that in mind. Let's see, watch out next week. I'm going up to Fort William. So hopefully do a tour of Glencoe. Hopefully I can do a quick tour of the Glencoe Turf House as well. Time's at 54. An alarm for my tour. I remember last week. So this one, they vandalised this one about Gaza. So this one got vandalised as well. They've obviously cleaned it. You can see some of the blue paint on it. So you can see some of the blue paint there. It's leaked a little bit when they've cleaned it onto that. That's a shame. So here's one of the guys working on just now. Pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool work. Hi buddy, how you doing? I heard about the vandalism, eh? Pretty sad, eh? Pretty sad, like, it's good to see it cleaned up. Doesn't look too bad, eh? Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that got vandalised as well, so obviously the politician's office with as well. Oh, that's good, that's nice of them to do that. It's obviously quite sad what's been going on in the Middle East the last few months or so. So yes, the transmission is weak, so I'm going to have to go, everyone. I've got to go and meet my tour group. So thank you very much, and the tours just went bad. So as I say, I'll look out for tomorrow. I'll put another tour on. So the signal's just dropped. I've not had a problem in here before. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming on this short tour. Apologies for being a short tour today, but I have to have my business, you know. My business must come first. So thank you very much for sticking by me on this short tour. I don't even know if you can hear me. But have a great day, everyone. And I'll see you soon tomorrow, hopefully.